students, how are you? In this video we'll talk about relational constraint. Now what is constraint? Now rules to maintain the integrity of the database. Okay, so to maintain the integrity of the database we have to implement the constraint. And what is relational constraint? So relational constraint are the restrictions imposed on the database contents and operations. They ensure the correctness of the data in the database. Okay, so that is the purpose, that is the goal, to ensure the correctness of the data in the database. And how it is possible? To impose some restrictions. Now the constraints are, we'll talk about a domain constraint, tuple uniqueness, key constraint, entity integrity constraint, and referential integrity constraints. So first of all, domain constraint. So already you know what is domain. So in the last video we'll discuss about the domain. Now domain constraint defines the domain or set of values for an attribute. Okay, suppose we can see one simple example. Say create a table student, roll number, character 12 primary key. That means what? Roll number should be the primary key. Okay, so through which we can identify the any of the entities uniquely. Name is what? Varchar 2 and 30. So that means what? Variable character, and there should be the character, and here the maximum size should be 30. Now age should be the integer. Age should be the integer, but age should be, the value of age should be more than 18 or less than 35. That means here we are put the restrictions. The roll number should be the primary key, it should be the unique, it should not be the null. Okay, and maximum name should be the 30, that is another restriction. Age is the integer, it should be the restriction, and the value, the age should be in between these, that is also another restrictions. So through this domain constraint we can define the domain or set of values for an attribute. Are you getting this one? So similarly, so we can take say student table is there, and here say roll number, name, okay, gender, class, and various attributes are there. Roll number is a primary key, already know. The maximum size allowance is 30. So here you can put the age also. Age is must be there. Age. So age. Now the value of age should be what? In between 18 to 35. Now class. Now suppose in that particular college, say 3 sections are there. Say different classes are there. Say BE and BTech. BE, BTech and BSc. So we have to select the class in between only these three. So we have to select any one of these. Okay. Other than that we cannot select. That means what? We are restricting this one. So gender may be the male, female, and the other. We have to select any one of that. The maximum length of the name should be what? It is 30. So this is nothing but the domain constraint. Next is tuple uniqueness. It specifies, tuple means what? The rows. So it specifies that all the rows must be unique in any table or relation. That means what? Suppose one student table is there and the attributes are like this way. Say a roll number, name, and say class. Say roll number 1, name Raju, class say B. Roll number 2, say Rani, class B. Now we cannot put one more 1, Raju and B. We cannot put this particular line, because that means what? It is a violation of the tuple uniqueness. All the rows, remember one thing, all the rows in a relation or in a table must be unique. All the rows must be unique. Okay, but we can say one more Raju may be there in the class B. So in that case, we have to put the another roll number, say 3. So through these 3 we can say, okay, this is one Raju, this is another Raju. So Raju 1, Raju 2. So roll number 1, Raju B. Roll number 3, Raju B. Now this is called tuple uniqueness. All the rows in this particular in a relation or table must be unique. Next is what? Key constraint. Now all the values of primary key must be unique. Remember, so that is already we know. All the values of the primary key must be unique, and the value of the primary key must not be null. We cannot put null here. So we can say create table student, roll number, it should not be null, and primary key. Name is Varchar 30 and age is integer. So here we can say roll number, name, class, roll number 1, Raju B, 2, Rani B. So and say roll number 3, say you can say Kabir and say it is BTech. Now suppose we want a null here, we want blank. That means we want to put null here. We want to put blank here. So it is not possible. It is not allowed to put blank. It is not allowed to put null in the roll number primary key, in a primary key attribute. So that is called key constraint. Next is what? Entity integrity constraint. Now entity integrity constraint, it specifies that no attribute of the primary key must be contained in null value in any relation. Okay, the presence of null value in the primary key violates the uniqueness property. So we can see, say roll number, name and class. Say roll number 1 Raju B, roll number 2 Rani B. Now suppose one more Raju is there, and if you put null here, so you cannot put null here. So you must give some roll number. We have to put some values. Similarly, one more Rani is there. We cannot put null here. So we have to put say null, say roll number, say 4. So that means what? In this particular classroom, so 2 Rajus are there and 2 Ranis are there. Similarly, it may be possible through which, by using combination of the attribute, we can identify the primary key. For example, now suppose one table is there, student. Now here roll number is not present. So to form a primary key, we can take these two attributes together, say name and date of birth together, and that means what? We can form the primary key using name and date of birth. Suppose name is say Raju, okay, class say B, department say computer science department. So similarly, suppose Rani, say date of birth say 1st August say 2000. Are you getting this one? So similarly, you can say 2nd 2000. So it is what? B CS. Now suppose now Kabir is there, and we don't know its name. We don't know its date of birth. Say we know the class, say it is BTech, and department says PA, but we cannot put null here because date of birth is what? Part of the primary key. So you cannot put null. So if you put null, that means what? It is a violation of entity integrity constraint. Anyhow, we have to give some valid value. Next is what? Referential entity constraint. Now this constraint is implemented when foreign key primary key relationship is there, or a foreign key references the primary key of a table. So we can see the example. Now to ensure that all the values taken by the foreign key must either be available in the relation of primary key or be null. Now we can see two tables are there, student and subjects. The attributes are roll number, name and subject ID. And here subject attribute in subject table, subject ID and subject name is there. Now here we have to take values from the values of subject ID from the subject table. So we can say this subject ID is a foreign key. Okay, and here in subject ID, in subject table, it is a primary key, and here the roll number is what? It is a primary key of the student table. So roll number is a primary key of the student, subject ID is the primary key of the subject, but here subject ID, which is inside the student table, it is a foreign key. Now that means what? Here we implement the constraint using foreign key primary key. Now this is called a reference table and this is called referencing table. So reference table means from where we fetch the attribute, and referencing table where we use the attribute, where the foreign key is there. So foreign key must be there in the referencing table. So we can see here, say roll number, name, subject ID is there, subject ID and subject name. So this is what our student table. Okay, and this is what our subjects table. So student name may be 1, 2, 3. Okay, it may be Sachin. Okay, Saurav, Sami. Okay, Irfan Pathan. So subject ID, say subject 1, subject 2, subject 1, subject 3. That subject must be there. Say S1, S2, S3, S4. Okay, so subject name may be operating system, data structure, okay, algorithm, DBMS, Now roll number is a primary key of the student, subject ID is a primary key, and here subject ID is a foreign key. Okay, now you can see it ensures that all the values taken by the foreign key, here all the values are taken by the value S1, S2, S3 must either be available in the relation of a primary key or be null. Okay, now suppose here roll number 5, we can say it is Kohli, Virat Kohli, and say subject ID say subject it is not decided, the subject ID, here we can put null. Are you getting this one? Say another subject, say another roll number, say 6, and say KL Rahul or Rahul Dabir. Okay, now suppose we have input the subject ID, say S5, but we cannot put in subject ID S5 because S5 subject ID is not present here. So that is a violation of referential integrity constraint. Are you getting this one? So referential integrity constraint ensures that all the value taken by the foreign key must either be available. So S1 to S4, S1, S2, S3, these are available, but S5 is not available. So we cannot put S5. Or if it is not there, so we can put null. We can put null here. So we can put null here. Now we can see SQL implementation. So create table subject. Now subject ID varchar 5 not null primary key. So subject ID is a primary key and subject name is the varchar 20. So subject name and subject ID, so through which you can access the subject. But here create table student, roll number integer not null primary key, name varchar 2, and subject ID is what? It is a varchar 5 foreign key, references subjects, references the subject, and from where we have to pick up the subject ID. So in this way, this is what our SQL command through which we implement the foreign key, or we can enforce the referential integrity constraint. And this is the another table. Okay, so we cannot insert a record into a referencing table if the corresponding record does not exist in the reference table. So we cannot put insert subject 5 S5 because S5 is not there. Now we cannot delete or update a record of the referenced relation if the corresponding record exists in the referencing table. Now suppose we want to delete this particular S2, but we cannot delete it easily we cannot delete, because that particular referencing table, student table, is referencing this S2. So because S2 is there, you cannot delete this one, but we can delete S4 easily because no student has registered for this particular subject S4. But if it is the referencing table use this particular value, the keys of the foreign key, or if the foreign key is there, that particular value is there, then we cannot delete. Okay, and this is nothing but our referencing table. Okay, this is nothing but our referencing table, and this is nothing but our reference table. Subject ID is a foreign key. Okay, and here roll number is a primary key of the student, and subject ID is the primary key of the student. Next we will talk about violations of referential integrity constraints. So 3 causes of violations of referential integrity constraint. So we can say better to write RIC, referential integrity constraint. So insertion, deletion and update in a reference relation. So first is what? Insertion. It is allowed to insert only those values in the referencing attribute which are already present in the table value of the reference attribute. Okay, so that is what here. Suppose we want to insert S5. So we cannot insert S5 because S5 is not present. In reference table, S5 is not present. Next is what? Deletion of the table. Now, it is not allowed to delete a row from the referenced relation if the referencing attribute uses the value of the reference attribute of that row. So we can see here, this is what referencing table and this is what reference table. Here roll number is a primary key, subject ID is the primary key, and here this subject ID is the foreign key. Now we can see here S1, S2, S3, these are the used subject which are present in this particular subject ID. So if you want to delete this particular subject, it is not possible to delete because here S2 is there. In foreign key S2 is here. So S2 is used. Now suppose you want to delete S4, easily you can use, because here S4 is not present. Next we can say deletion handling. Now three cases are there: on delete cascade, denied deletion request, and insert null after delete. Now suppose we have seen that in simple way, if you want to delete S2, we cannot delete because S2 is there in foreign key. Now what you can say, we can implement on delete cascade. That means what? If S2 is deleted from the subject table, then the row from the student table is also deleted. Now suppose if you mention it is a delete cascade, if you mention it is a delete cascade like this way, say subject ID varchar 5 foreign key references subject ID on delete cascade. Okay, so that particular line in student table. So if you mention in SQL it is on delete cascade. Now if you want to delete this one, simultaneously it will delete this row also. So that is called on delete cascade. Now similarly, if you want to delete S3, it will delete this row also. Next is what? Denied deletion request. That means what? Now suppose you want to delete the S2, it will deny to execute that particular deletion because S2 is there. Now suppose in this particular denied deletion, now suppose you want to delete S4, now it is okay, no problem, we can delete S4 because here S4 is not there. And third is what? Insert null after deletion. Now suppose we want to delete S2. Now we can delete S2. So here instead of S2, here I have to put the null value. Now suppose you want to delete S3, it is okay, no problem. Here you have to put the null value. Okay. That means in delete, the deletion request is denied, and in insert null on referencing table on deletion of the rows from reference table. Next we can say updation in reference table. We want to update. Okay. Now it is not allowed to update a row of the reference table if the referencing attribute uses the value of the reference attribute of that row. Now that means what? Suppose here we want to change the subject name. Okay. Suppose instead of S1 we want it is S11. So we have to change it. We have to update this particular value. But here it is S11. Here it is S1. So it is not allowed. So it will restrict. So it will restrict to change. Okay. So it is not allowed to update a row of the reference table if the referencing attribute uses the value of the reference attribute of that particular row. So here also three cases are there. You can see on update cascade, denied request to update, and putting null or some value. So if you want to apply, if you have mentioned that on update cascade, that means what? If you change S1 to S11, so whenever S1 will be there, it will be S11. Suppose one more S1 is there, it should be S11. That means what? On updating reference table, update attribute value of both the tables. So if you want to update here, we have to update. So in both the cases, it will be reflected. Next is what? Denied request to update. Okay, that means what? If you want to update, it will not allow because here S11 is present. S1 is present, but if you want to change S4 to S40, it is okay. We can change it easily because S40 is not present. Or putting null or some value. Now suppose instead of say it is S11, now if you don't want to change here, so we can put here null, or say we can write the change attribute like this way, some characters, the change attribute or change value CV. That means we can say that means something was there initially, now it is changed, so that's why that CV is there. Are you getting this one? So on update cascade, denied request to update, and putting null or some value. And that is the end of this particular video. In the next video, we'll discuss about keys in detail, different various types of keys. Thank you very much.